Welcome back to TheBiringPodcast. First, we got Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Jake Paul beat him. Honestly, it wasn't exactly the fight of the year, but some stuff did happen before, during, and after the fight, and we'll give you our thoughts on that. Then we have Canadian politics. It seems like they've started campaigning, and the main issue right now seems to be taxes. Then there's some more Trump stuff. He's starting to appoint people. And then Mississauga mayor is under fire for not condemning a vigil of former Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. And lastly, Taylor Swift took over Toronto. And after that, stay tuned for Off Topic. We'll give you our quick takes on some random stories. So, Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson.
You sure did?
Now, this wasn't exactly the fight of the year, but some pretty funny things were happening before the fight started.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul was running his mouth a little bit too much, and he got slapped from Mike Tyson. So, if you want to play a clip?
What's going on with your ear over there, Jake, if I could just ask that?
I'm not getting my shit bit off on Friday night, so I got my diamond.
Ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set. Our main event tomorrow night, live on Netflix. El Canelo Jake Paul versus the returning of Iron Mike Tyson.
I feel it. He's angry. He's an angry little elf. Mike Tyson, I thought that was a cute slap, buddy, but tomorrow you're getting knocked out. I'm f***ing him up, Burial. I'm f***ing him up. He hits like a... It's personal now. It's personal now. He must die.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on these little shenanigans?
I don't know, man.
Didn't that a little bit seem like he was acting?
That
Yeah.
a lot of people are saying
That the whole thing, right?
Yeah, the entire
and just
thing.
to make money, both of them, right?
He made a lot of money.
So many memes.
Yeah. I feel like, it felt a little bit staged. I don't know.
For sure. I saw afterwards he stepped on his foot.
Yeah, like when I first saw it, I thought he just did it for no reason. But then they showed after it's because he stepped on
I still
his foot.
think he might have done it for no reason. I just feel duped.
Why? Because of the fight?
No, like, you got to give it to this guy. He's a great marketer. Him and his brother.
Who?
Jake and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Did you see them come into the fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were spraying his cologne.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
his, he has like an Axe body spray.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah.
And I don't know, everyone I know was talking about it. Everyone tuned in.
Yeah.
But what happened was exactly what we thought was going to happen.
Honestly, man, Mike Tyson's 50 years old. 58.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's like me and my dad going in boxing. Like, who's going to win a boxing match?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think his power was there.
Yeah.
But he did unlock, like, a version of Mike we're familiar with.
What? Like him being a little crazy?
Pretty crazy. Did you catch
I
any
mean,
of
a
that?
part of that is like, I think he was being old, but like Mike's almost made for TV. So if you want to play this clip.
Oh my God.
Such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Man, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over.
Look at the kid. She's like, well,
Who
what
cares
the hell
about
is
legacy
going on?
after that?
She held her own, man.
What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead.
Like,
We're
know your
dust.
audience, right?
We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is
Like
nothing.
a poor girl.
Right?
Thank you
Like
so much for sharing.
traumatized.
That is something
He's a
that
still-
I have not heard before someone say that as an answer.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my
think you
legacy to
should.
be this way you're dead? Why do you want somebody
True.
to think somebody really wants to think about you?
She tried to change
what's the
this up,
adaptive?
right?
I think, I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the fuck cares about me when I'm gone?
The music too,
My
right?
kids,
So
my
depressing.
grandkids.
True.
What would you lose if you lose this fight? Thank you.
I'm not gonna lose.
but just you say that in the last minute of the second.
I am not
countdown.
gonna lose. Did you hear what I said?
Thank you.
That's your prediction.
Vicious win.
Vicious win. Thank you, Dad.
Love you.
Love you too.
Do you think that he forgot? He forgot? Or
Yeah, that's not on purpose,
are
man.
you sure?
I think it is on purpose.
Do you think that's on purpose too?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh man, that's not on purpose.
Bare ass is out.
Yeah,
not
no,
out there.
he
Like he wouldn't feel
totally felt
the
it.
wind.
I mean, he's 58, right?
50's not that old. He's
Yeah.
not like
No, he put on a
Biden
okay,
level.
to be fair, what that is that the boxers wear jock straps that way, and they put it around their waist first, and then they wrap. Yeah,
Feel the air.
Yeah, maybe he was just getting ready, but
yeah, and then he didn't put the shorts on, right? Like, what? The cameraman just.
why did he just he panned out too, and then he went back up.
Oh my god!
But it's like we know Mike like from back in the day. He's a little, with
To get himself
fornicating
into-
with all his interviews.
Yeah.
I only get interviewed with women that I fornicate with. Like,
Oh my god!
he's
Yeah.
he's crazy. He's been this way. He's wired a little different, especially when he fights. He's like, it unlocks something in me, right? That's why he got so mad at that reporter.
Right.
He's like, and even that
He
interview.
walked towards this person. Everybody standing behind him.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, Mike,
For sure.
chill out.
That's why it's probably fake.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's fake. You can't fake that.
He's a good actor if he's faking that. He doesn't seem to like realize.
Yeah, if you told him, like, this is the same guy who's talking to a girl that way. If you're like, Mike, listen, we're gonna have your ass out there, and you're gonna do this, he'd be like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, maybe he thought the camera wouldn't go
Yeah.
that low.
Yeah, maybe it's the cameraman's fault.
Mm.
It's true. Like he also thought that guy, that 26-year-old, was a baby.
Yeah.
And he started kissing him. That's like,
Hasbullah. Hasbullah. Yeah.
yeah. It's like throwing his fist at me. I threw them back.
You think even with this girl, subconsciously, he's like, okay, I'm gonna treat everybody like an adult now. You never know.
Yeah.
No.
No?
That was just him. He just in the zone. And he's like, I don't care about legacy. He starts talking about death. Like she was like 13 years old.
Perfect.
I was proud of her though. She held her own.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I think
she's
she
good
has a
at these
future as a
interviews, yeah.
reporter, man.
Yeah, she does these interviews. I think she has
Does
like,
she?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like if that was me, I was like 10 years old, I'd probably start crying.
You know what the weird thing is? I'd heard, like, I didn't see it freeze, but like when Netflix was having their thing and it was like the streaming issues were happening,
Yeah.
apparently it froze on his app.
I heard that too.
Oh, really?
I missed this whole part. I had to watch it back after I saw it on.
Oh, you had to watch it back.
No, I didn't have to. I guess I was intrigued. I don't know. But I don't want to talking about it, man. But
Oh my god.
yeah, Netflix. That outside of this being whatever people are thinking staged or fake, the Netflix thing was just so annoying. For me, when I was watching it,
Yeah.
I was actually surprised. The first fight, whatever happened there, sure, and the second fight was actually really good.
Yeah.
And then even the two girls that were fighting Serrano, I forget the other one's name.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that was a good fight, but the second that they walked out, it just cut out for us, and like I was just stuck trying to reload this thing for
For us, it cut out during that
the rest
fight.
of the fight.
But I saw, do you see that gash in her eyebrow?
Messed up.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I think I don't think they're ready for the amount of streams they're gonna get, which is
Probably.
wild because it's
Clearly.
Netflix, right?
Yeah.
But like live TV is different than
For sure.
just streaming in general when it comes to movies and TV shows. And
Yeah.
I think they learned this the hard way because I think when a bunch of people started tuning in,
Yeah.
it kind of felt like an illegal streaming site. Like they crashed, right? Yeah, you didn't expect this from Netflix.
It's me. I started freaking out. I thought it was my Wi-Fi, and then I tried it on my data.
Yeah, some of them
I'm like-
he's like, ask other people. I'm like,
Even like some celebs or like Jay Williams, Jay Williams, he's a reporter in sports. He was tweeting about it. He's like,
basketball
my Netflix crashed.
yeah,
Emmanuel Ocho too.
yeah.
Same thing. Like it was not working for a lot of people, all my friends and stuff. It was for me, I pretty much had to wait till the fight finished.
Yeah.
And then I watched it back and I couldn't
When-
pay attention to my phone.
When you dropped it in the group chat and you were like, yeah, my Netflix isn't working, and everyone's like, yeah, mine too. I was like, oh shit, no,
Yeah.
everyone is not just
Pushing pretty early. So I'm like, ask them. And he's like, I don't want them to think my internet isn't good.
I'm like, that's pretty good.
Okay, you know what I thought was weird? So people are trying to find alternative streams, and I'm like, guys, those streams, like,
Same thing. Yeah.
like if Netflix isn't working, what makes you think those are gonna work, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not. None of it's gonna work.
Outside of the fight being exactly what we all thought it was. Like for me, when I did end up watching the fight for 2 seconds, maybe 3 seconds, I was like, yo, Mike's gonna knock him out.
I thought Mike would win.
When he came out swinging,
I'm like naive to it and I don't know too much about it, but I just thought like the experience and they were showing him like training and stuff. He had some power in him.
So the first 2 rounds, I think that's what my thought was. If he was gonna win first 1, 2, 3 rounds, Mike Tyson can win, right?
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, then Mike's not gonna win that. Like,
I think personally, even the power's gone. It's not there. Otherwise, like he clocked him good 2-3 times right in the beginning.
Apparently, his knee was messed up and he was hobbling.
He was
right?
hobbling.
But also, like, if you ask an old person, like a normal, he's Mike Tyson, so he can still kind of do it, right? And he's really in shape for a 60-year-old or a 58-year-old.
Very impressive. Shape.
Yeah, but like if you ask a normal person, like, hey, why don't you shadow box? They can't jump around like that, right? Like their knees are gone. Right.
They postponed it because he was something happened.
He said he almost died. He said after he lost like so much blood.
So was that AIDS thing I read something about? Like,
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't even know.
I don't know if it's related to this or not. But
what was that?
He said him and his friend slept with the same girl that had AIDS at the same time. Then his friend died and that girl died, but he never got AIDS.
But he didn't.
And he said that like really randomly, like nobody was talking about that.
Yeah, Mike's different, man.
He said this in like an interview?
In an interview.
Recently?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But like Netflix, even during that, they were tweeting, or not tweeting, they were advertising that they got the NFL games. They had a threesome.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They got the 2 NFL games coming up on Christmas.
Yeah.
So you're looking at an audience that's going to be comparable to this. Apparently, this did like 60 million households.
Right. For a Jake Paul fight, somebody who's not. I mean, the guy's a marketer, right? So you can get that, and because it's Netflix and you don't have to pay-per-view buy it for $70 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think because of that, more people tuned in.
For sure.
Right.
Why wouldn't you? It's free.
But on Netflix side, like, you think they got more subs off of it, or like?
Yeah, I do.
You think so?
Yeah. And another thing, like, you know how the second fighter was an Indian guy? And they were even saying it in the stream that, like he wants to fight Jake Paul because there's such a huge market in India, which you would assume because their population is so big. And there's probably so many people that tuned in from India just for the fight.
Yeah. Even
just all over
even
the world.
afterwards, they were like trying to promote it. He's like, I'm going to come fight you next. They did a whole little promo.
I mean, he like after the fight when he was like trying not to talk about it, but he was Canelo. He says he wants to fight. I think Canelo
wiped the floor,
right? Like he's out, but Jake's really big. Canelo's not as big as him, but
he was really big. He looked really big.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I don't think Canelo's not going to fight him.
People have been showing videos of Jake Paul when he first started YouTube.
Yeah.
How small and skinny. Yeah. He's like dancing. They're like, this guy wanted to fight Mike.
I mean, I'll give him this much. He's a credible fighter. He actually has some skill and talent, but this was ridiculous.
I mean, who
exactly what I thought was going to happen.
I mean, to me, Mike Tyson shouldn't be fighting at this point, right? Even after the fight ended, Ariel Helwani was in the ring asking the questions and stuff, and he asked Mike, he's like, "Are you done?" And Mike was like, "No."
Yeah.
Right, and then he asked him, he's like, "Who are you gonna fight next?" He's like, "I don't know, maybe his brother." Like jokingly,
and he's like,
right? Yeah.
See, that's why I feel like it's all just marketed. It's all fake.
There
might be like that too. That I don't know.
But
Mike made $20 million payday for this.
I mean, everything we watch now, though, can be fake. So, like, I don't know what to believe anymore. Everything could be fake.
I mean, clearly at the end of that fight, he backed off because he didn't want to put on the pressure.
He even said,
he even said
in a presser,
right?
He's like, I didn't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
So then it is fake. Right?
As a man, though, if someone were to be like, "Oh, what? You can't fight now?" Are you gonna be like, "No, I can't"? No, right? You're gonna fight.
If you're Mike, yeah.
No, okay, you, both of you.
Yeah.
If somebody tried to like challenge your strength,
Yeah.
would you be like,
it's a
yeah,
equal
you're
thing,
stronger than me?
No, you're gonna fight
So
until you
something
can't
like
fight.
Tyson, of course he's gonna say that.
Yeah, for sure. But like Jake Paul being his age, right? Like if you're gonna go fight a 50-year-old man, a part of you should be like, nah, right? Like it's
Like my dad.
yeah.
He's told me stories recently where he had road rage. So I just don't think it goes out of you.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Telling us?
Yeah.
Pointed at a guy and told him to get out of his car.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
50-year-old.
Right? He said
This guy, he called him McGregor afterwards too.
He's calling,
A bunch of celebs chimed in too. They were tweeting like, "No point of this fight. Mad at myself for staying awake." Same thing that we all thought, right?
Yeah,
Even
man.
Magic
Honestly,
Johnson.
I felt bad for Mike Tyson, man. I was just like, and then afterwards, he didn't know what to do. Like, Mike Tyson shouldn't feel down. He's just way too old to be fighting, right? Because the dangerous part of it is, I don't know, man. That many blows to the head, man, at that age.
For sure.
You don't want to keep doing this.
In the third round, at a point where he was just like kind of wailing on him, I'm like, yo, this guy should stop. Like, what if he legitimately like
killed him,
right? Or really damaged his brain or something? This guy's too old to be taking shots like that, man.
Damage his brain more, right?
More. It's probably already damaged, right? Yeah.
Nah, I like Mike Tyson, man. Recently, I don't know, man. I felt bad for him.
He still beat the crap out of his wife. So how can you
We're not talking about what he's did like 20 years ago.
Not expecting that.
No, recently he's been a pretty good guy, man.
I forget. Yeah. He bit someone's ear. Come on.
Oh,
that's why he wore the
after
little
the fight.
thing.
Did you see him? Like during the fight, I kept seeing him biting his glove.
You guys remember that fight? I
Yeah.
saw that fight.
Yeah.
Oh, you're watching it live?
Yeah, no, like I watched it on TV.
Yeah. The Holyfield fight?
No, not in the building. Live can be on.
Yeah. The whole
When it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I thought about that when he started talking about biting his glove.
Yeah.
But
I have a biting fixation.
yeah, so that's what he said afterwards.
That he said it so like I have a biting fixation.
Such a like, creepy thing to say.
Like
when it was happening, I was like, is his thumb like stuck in the glove? Is that why is he that angry that he's not winning or something? Or is it like a mental? And then when he said that, I don't know about anyone else. I was like, maybe he just did it out of like some weird aggression when he bit Holyfield's ear. Like he couldn't contain himself. Like
possibly, man.
Is
Mike's
this what happened?
Mike's a crazy.
Originally, when it happened, I thought he just did it because he was like, "Ugh," I was like just angry at him, and he's like, "I'm gonna get you," kind of thing. I didn't think it was like some nervous tick or like he had some sort of like
fixation.
Yeah. We'll see if this guy ends up fighting anybody in the future.
Who, Mike?
No, hopefully Mike's done.
Yeah, no, Jake Paul's not done.
He's not done.
Jake Paul, he can fight Tommy Fury. He can fight KSI. He can fight
Hopefully somebody credible.
Canelo,
Even McGregor would be a better.
Yeah, but I think Jake Paul will beat McGregor.
I think he'll beat
McGregor's smaller and he doesn't box, right?
I want him to fight Canelo.
Yeah, that's what you want,
actually made,
right?
Wait, so did you guys think Mike Tyson would win?
That's what I'm saying. I got duped and I fell for it. And I felt so dumb after like 20 seconds.
That he would win?
I'm like, I'm so stupid. Why did I think this was possible?
In my head, I was like, if it was the first 2 rounds, he had a shot.
He had a shot
like
for
if he's
10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's it. The rest of the fight, he let up.
But you know what? I think he wanted people to believe that he would win, like Mike Tyson, and so many people like even bet that he would win.
Like how much money did Drake
lose?
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands, right? And so many people bet. So maybe they were in on that too. Like he just needed more money.
I think Mike Tyson in himself, like you were saying, like I think he's very like he believes in himself. He thinks he can beat Jake Paul. There's no part of him that doesn't
100%.
think that he can't beat Jake Paul.
Even us knowing Mike,
you're
like, yo, this guy's a killer, man.
Yeah.
He has it in him. Maybe if he still has his power, but no, he didn't.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I don't know. Maybe he's different now. He's older. He actually cares about the money. Like in his youth, he went bankrupt.
Right.
Like
he's still out here having
yeah. So.
Leave Mike alone. All right, let's move on to Canadian politics. So last week, Poilievre was talking about his the tax plan, and how he plans to cut some unnecessary spending.
Yeah.
And then Trudeau wanted to give his thoughts on it. Siegfried, you want to play the clip?
Polyev likes to go around saying the country is broken and then demonstrates that he's the one proposing to break it. He's announced that he's going to cut the housing accelerator funding, billions of dollars to municipalities, that is unlocking density, accelerating the building of homes, reducing red tape. He voted against the first-time homebuyers savings account. He voted against the housing infrastructure funds. All he cares about is cuts. Cuts to programs, cuts to services, cuts to investments. Doesn't help a single Canadian get into an affordable home. Pierre Poilievre stands against. He did everything he could to block dental care. He stands against pharmacare, against childcare, against the school food program, against investments in housing. That is the first thing he'd cut. He just announced. Against the investments in drawing in good jobs from around the world, investments from around the world to create good jobs here.
I don't know. I'm watching this and I'm like, is he campaigning for Poilievre? He's against cuts. That's what people want to hear, right?
I mean, I think, so obviously that was clipped up, right?
Yeah.
If you watch that whole thing, the way this guy talks, I don't even know what the hell he's saying half the time. He just beats around the bush, he just keeps spinning around in circles, and then he gets to a point, right? And I'll get into what he said in a second.
He does Trump's weave, but he never gets out of the weave.
Right? But what's funny to me is when he's normally arguing, he's always like, right? But when you get him mad, then he focuses, right?
Yeah.
Then he can,
Very he knew what he was talking about. I was like, oh, he's upping his campaigning game.
No, if you watch the whole 20-minute conference, he's just running in circles. And
he does a lot of that.
Yeah, but usually he's just he does that a lot, right? Talking, I don't know, in the house, whenever you see any clips of him, he's very nervous or anxious. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But when he's angry, this guy actually talks, right? So
yeah, he kept saying he's for cuts, right? And he's campaigning towards Canadians getting into homes. What about the ones in the homes? That's what Poilievre's campaigning about, right? Cutting GST. He's talking about the same housing fund he was saying to get rid of bureaucracy, get rid of his fund. I don't know.
The way I see it is you have 9 years of Trudeau, who's been doing nothing but government spending, and it's been inflationary. It's been raising taxes. He just did the carbon tax everyone's been complaining about.
Yeah.
And all it is taking money out of people's pockets. And he keeps talking about these programs he's funding, right? But who are they really helping? I don't know, right? But what Poilievre is suggesting is capitalism.
Yeah.
Right? Cut the government spending, lower the taxes, and let the market figure it out. That's essentially what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right? So to me, when I look at that, and this guy just keeps saying, well, these are investments, they're investments. No, it's government overspending.
Yeah.
Right? It might be fine. There's a time when a country needs something like that. But this guy's been in office for so long, right? It's like if you give somebody who's bad with a credit card, right? You're like, here, go nuts.
Yeah.
Right? And if you do that for 9 years, good luck, right? They're going to rack up a lot of debt, right? So to me, when he says all of this, I just see it's government spending versus capitalism, right?
Yeah.
And you can word it whichever way you want, but right now, I don't think the government needs to spend more. Right.
Sure, yeah.
I think people need less taxes, right? When everyone's wallets were hurting, this guy introduced a carbon tax, right? Who does it make sense to be like, hey, listen, your gas bill is going to go up. It's going to cost more to put gas in your car. And we're doing this to save the world, right? And to impact climate, right? To me, that would make sense.
Then let's give so many $1 billion away to someone else to fight their war.
Right. To Ukraine, but even if he was going to do his carbon tax, if he was like, okay, all EVs 50% off,
right?
Cool. Now we have an option, right? Now we're like, okay, we'll go buy a Tesla or whatever, the Ford Lightning or whatever, right?
Right.
You go buy that, and it's going to cost as much as a gas vehicle. So now you go buy that, and you're charging so now you have an option, right?
Yeah.
To just charge people for putting in gas in their cars, right? And
a substantial amount too. Is 60 cents.
Yeah,
EVs in Canada are double the price.
Yeah.
Right. So why, even if you factor in financing or leasing the car and the gas, it doesn't make sense for a lot of people to go buy a $60,000 EV. Right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. Right. So to raise taxes to help the climate makes no sense, right? So government spending, and then he keeps talking about that, right? Like,
and his housing fund that hasn't done anything or created any houses really. It's the same thing. Like I feel like a lot of them do is just campaigning to unions. That's what he was doing there too. Just trying to. But if you're trying to help new or younger Canadians get into houses, what about the older ones that are in the homes trying to afford them or buy future homes or do anything, right? Foreign investments down.
Even that,
nobody's buying anything here.
Ontario especially is not landlord friendly, right? There's a lot of people that own rental properties. We own rental properties, right? That like or struggle because you can't evict. It's really hard to evict tenants, right?
Sure.
We're lucky enough to have good tenants, but if you're not, good luck,
right?
Like the process is so long.
People live years like without paying rent. That they're not responsible. Yeah.
And right now, rent is actually going to be cheaper than a mortgage, right? So like that person that's renting your house can't afford to buy that house and live in there. That's why they're renting it, right? And somebody's that's essentially creating a living space for somebody. It's part of the economy, especially in Canada, when a large part of our GDP is housing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little bit ridiculous to me how much on the government overreach and government spending and government policies that the Liberal government has gone on. Like that's why a lot of Canadians, I feel like, are just sick of it and they just want to move on to somebody who's going to cut that and let capitalism take over.
They did, not him in this interview, but I did see Bonnie Crombie, I think her name is, the Liberal MP. She was mentioning reducing income tax for like the brackets, actually reducing them. I heard that. I'm like, that's a step in the right direction. That'll actually get something done. I don't know how credible that is, but
I mean,
more of that, more in terms of that will actually, people's ears will perk up and they'll start listening to what this guy has to say. But right now, it just felt like to me, he was trying to campaign against Polyev, but all I heard was tax cuts, reducing things. I'm like, that sounds great. What's wrong with that?
Even Jagmeet Singh now is stepping in, and he's talking about tax cuts as well for essential items, which you never hear the NDP really talk about.
Yeah.
But Sukhveer, you want to play a clip?
Yeah. So today I want to make a commitment to Canadians. New Democrats are going to give you a break on your daily essentials and monthly bills. We are going to take the GST off of everyday costs like heating, your home, your cell phone bills, your internet, food that you buy at the groceries, and your children's needs. We will, and here's the punchline though, and we're going to pay for it by bringing in an excess profit tax to make sure those ultra wealthy and large corporations pay their fair share, and we can use that money to bring down costs for families. We're going to make the CEOs pay for it. As we are confronted now with the reality of President Donald Trump presidency and his agenda of economic bullying, let's now commit that our goal in every single trade negotiation is to protect Canadian jobs and to create good jobs in our country. We can make sure that every job is a good job that pays the bills. And to do it, we need strong unions.
So he's at the Canadian Club. He's pandering to the union there or whatever. But he said he's going to cut heating and like essential items. I don't know how much of a difference that'll actually make. But as far as his party's policies, it's actually not bad. He's actually doing what he should be doing or committing to.
Yeah, I feel like what he's saying isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Right? He's essential items. It would make a difference in a lot of people's lives, especially people on the lower end of the income totem pole. The thing that's weird though, when you start to, he's saying what he said, if you listen to it, he's saying that the way he's going to make that money back is by taxing CEOs, right? And the ultra rich and corporations, right?
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
So,
like, I know, like, I don't know if he's talking about the 1% of Canada. Like, I'm not sure. But say you were in that position.
So it's not that, right? It's a capitalism debate, right?
It makes it sound, but it ends up hurting the middle class. It doesn't really affect them as much.
Yeah, if you're not even somebody who's like, jobs are already weak in Canada, right? Unemployment's really high, right? So if you're taxing CEOs, that's one thing. But if you start taxing these corporations, right, nobody's going to be running to go start companies or make their businesses grow and create more jobs, right? So what's going to happen? promotions are going to go down, right? Unemployment's going to go up. People aren't going to get new jobs.
Imagine the CEO will keep their salary and the workers will.
Yeah, workers will get fired, right?
Yeah.
So now imagine, right, theoretically, if that happens, right? Now, I don't know his plan exactly, but if his plan is to raise corporate taxes on the higher end, then what's going to end up happening? You're going to have
trickle down economics too,
right? Your heating bill will be less, right? And the essential items, you'll get a break on that, but you won't have a job.
Yeah.
Right? So
or like any other thing you want to buy from these corporations is going to cost a lot, right?
Yeah. I mean, and usually people on the higher end of the totem pole, it's not like I'm pro billionaires or I'm saying everyone, but you get into a lot of this mess because in Canada, because of our tax rate, you don't really get companies that are being innovative, right? If you look at the top 10 companies in Canada, 3 of them are banks.
Yeah.
Right.
And recently we had Shopify, Constellation Software, some companies that are newer and they're doing good. But a large part of that is if you start a company here, how are you going to grow that company? You get taxed everywhere. It's really hard. And you have to have something
That's
really...
why we don't have any startups. There's no Apple, no nothing.
You look at the States, right? It's dominated by tech.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's incentives for that. Right? If the whole incentive here is government spending and just tax everybody as much as you possibly can, I mean, it's going to be hard, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's going to hurt you, right? Because the middle class then just stays a middle class or goes away.
Yeah.
Right? And if you don't make the right moves, I mean, life's going to get harder. If you're not getting these promotions, government funding keeps increasing. All that means is people on the lower end of the income totem pole, they're going to get supported a little bit. And the people in the middle class, inflation's going to take over, right?
It eats away at the middle class.
Yeah, and they're done.
Either you're lucky enough to move up or you end up not really being in the middle class anymore, right? But Trump's really making these guys campaign again. They both mentioned them in their press conferences. They're pretty quiet. Poilievre's been at it for a minute, but...
Yeah, Poilievre's been going at it, but the elections are October 25th, I think, in Canada. So it's less than a year.
Yeah, it's not too far.
10 months?
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I feel like you're going to see a campaign this year that might be a little bit entertaining. I don't think it's going to be like the U.S. elections, but I think it could be a little bit more entertaining than it usually is. And a lot of people are going to be tuning in.
For sure.
But apparently Trump prefers Poilievre over Trudeau.
I read that, but I don't know how credible that is.
Well, according to an article in the Globe and Mail, Mr. Trump wants him gone. To Trumpians, the lefty liberal is about as popular as hoof and mouth disease. They will work, if necessary, to expedite its exit and clear a path for fellow populist Pierre Poilievre to take his place. It stands to reason that Trumpians much prefer the conservative leader. Like them, he's anti-woke, anti-elitist, anti-mainstream media, anti-carbon tax, anti-deep state. Mr. Trudeau is trying to let on that all will be well with the incoming administration, saying this week that the two countries work together as friends and parents in Mr. Trump's first term, and we're going to do that again.
That was different from what you guys thought last week, right? Where you thought Trump would want.
Yeah, but
Trudeau.
this is also how do you feel about that? That's biases clearly exist here too, no?
Yeah, that's wild to me, right? Like, to anyone that lives in Canada, if you think that there's not a media bias, right? Like, looking at this article, right? Like, you can write a constructive article without calling Poilievre a populist, right?
Sure, yeah.
Like, just because, I mean, a little part of elections is like everyone does it.
But they're both right wing. Trump is right wing. This guy is too. Obviously, they're gonna align.
Some of their ideologies would align, you
naturally,
think, right? But
shouldn't they?
Yeah,
they should, right?
But if you're talking about negotiating trade deals,
that has nothing to do with your policy, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if Trump would want to negotiate with Poilievre.
That's what I'm saying. You can still be like have the same ideologies in your party and negotiate well in good faith, right?
Yeah, I mean, but all of this anti-elitist, anti-establishment, like, isn't everyone?
Yeah.
Who's for establishment? Who wants more bureaucracy? Right? Who's
we
like,
want
yeah,
transparency.
man, we want control. Control us, please. Like, it's like the way they presented that. I don't know. It's funny to me.
It's crazy though. People actually think that biased media doesn't exist here.
I mean, didn't they learn anything from Trump?
Yeah.
That shit didn't work.
Yeah.
Right? And now you're going to try that here? It's not going to work here either, man. People are already sick of Trudeau and the Liberal government, and they've been sick of it for a while. You see signs all over the place, right? So if you're going to now try to do this, it's going to enrage people a little bit more, and you're going to see a landslide victory for Poilievre, right? But they have 10 months. I mean, everyone's starting to campaign.
Yeah.
Right?
They could turn it around eventually. We'll see. Should be interesting.
Personally, I'd rather have Poilievre negotiating these trade deals, especially with the USMCA.
Yeah.
Rather than Trudeau, even if Trump wants him more. Because I think Poilievre's main goal would be to negotiate for Canada, right? Canada first. He says it all the time, right?
What did he... Yeah, I think we talked about it last week. He's like, he gave generously. That's what Poilievre said. Trudeau said about this guy. So you think he actually prefers... Why wouldn't you prefer the guy that gave generously?
But also, Trump is like, I'll play devil's advocate here. Trump is also somebody everyone knows. If you flatter him a little bit, he just, he'll lean into it and he'll kind of be like, oh, he gave. And Poilievre's obviously going to say that. What's he going to be like? Trudeau was fighting really hard for Canada, right? It's all politics at the end of the day, right? So I don't want to be too much on the Poilievre side of things.
Yeah.
But with this government spending and the shape of the economy and the whole country,
he's just saying the wrong things. You got to read what is happening in your country. And
if your approval ratings are down, right, and everyone disagrees with everything you say, and you're like, I'm going to do more.
I'm going to increase taxes.
That's what we're going to do.
More bureaucracy.
People are going to be like, yes, let's vote for this guy, right? Yeah. Anyways, let's move on to the next story.
Let's take a quick break. Look, right now you guys are our only supporters, so please like and subscribe as it helps the podcast out tremendously. Now let's get back to the podcast.
Which is Trump's been appointing a lot of people. We've been talking a lot about Trump, but he appointed everyone from Tulsi to RFK, Vivek, Elon.
Even got Marco Rubio in there.
Yeah.
The whole cabinet's coming together.
Tom Hoffman.
Yeah.
Who's the new Borders czar.
Yeah. There's a couple of names that stuck out to me. He's definitely one of them.
Yeah. I mean, people predicted him because he's a former ICE guy, no?
Former director of ICE.
Yeah.
He's a zero tolerance guy. This guy's pretty wild. If you want somebody controlling your border, I don't know.
I mean, there's this clip that's been going around. I'm sure you've seen it. Everyone's seen it, where he's basically owning AOC. Yeah. Sukfi, you want to play a clip?
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Holman,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way.
So this guy's a pretty scary guy, intimidating.
He's not backing down, but he's also not saying yes. Like that's what I want.
He's made it pretty clear, even in the past. Like,
Yeah.
anything I've seen of this guy, he doesn't really care. Like what you're doing. If you're illegal, you're out of this country. No questions asked. That's going to be his approach. Zero tolerance, like he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So to me, immigration was definitely a problem in the United States. It's been a problem everywhere in the world, right? In Canada, UK, especially these Western countries. The last couple of years, it's kind of been running crazy, right? And there are a lot of things start happening. There's a lot of divisiveness on who's on what side of things. But usually, like when I look at it, yes, immigration's a problem. Right.
Yeah.
And you need to take care of it, and borders need to close, right? You can't just have open borders and everyone's just running into your country, right? Like there's people, different types of criminals, right? Coming from El Salvador, or like you name it, right? They were just marching into the United States, right? But there are some people that are there and they've been living there and they have kids born there, right?
They work and
they're illegals, right? But they have families and they work hard. They're not citizens, right? So, I mean, a part of that, yeah, man, I wouldn't want to split up families. Like, I get the whole thing and I understand what this whole immigration thing is, right? But it's hard, man. Those people are people at the end of the day, right? And yes, there's criminals, but there's normal, hardworking people too,
For sure.
right?
Yeah, but how do you differentiate between the two?
So I read that
do
they're
that?
trying to like investigate it case by case, but it's almost impossible to do that.
Yeah, like to what you're saying, you can't.
I'm sure they're probably trying to, but this guy, did you see him on 60 Minutes?
No, I don't think so.
This guy is a savage, man.
I hear a lot of people say, the talk of a mass deportation is racist. It's threatening to the immigrant community. It's not threatening to the immigrant community. It should be threatening to the illegal immigrant community.
When asked if there's a way to carry out mass deportations without separating families, Homan said this.
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
I don't mean to laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like no BS type of guy.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's gonna look into why they're illegal or anything. This guy's just list of illegals. Get the hell out of the country.
Like
What about-
by 2025? Just in a year?
yeah. Well, as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But to your point,
Yeah.
right, or what Simmer was saying, how can you know how many illegal immigrants are in the United States? You know how hard it would take them? That's the whole thing, right? Like they get in there and by the time their turn comes up to get processed, they've been there for 15 years.
For sure.
Right? And they've
But
already
it's-
built a
The
life.
tough part is like they've been working, like people that contribute to the economy, then they get kids, their kids go to school here, kids, the grandparents sometimes have been illegal for so long. And a case like that, you should be able to look at a case like that objectively and be like, maybe focus on somebody who's actually a criminal or doing something.
Yeah, why not? Okay,
of
I
that
mean,
nature.
why can't you come up with something where it's like when you're gonna go that hard at it, where anyone that came within the last 2 years, you're gonna apply this.
Do you think they'll like
policy.
create some sort of task force just for that? Just to go through individuals?
I mean,
That's what ICE is. Right?
Yeah. I mean, they can try.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cases. How many
just
illegal
hard.
immigrants came into the United States? Like at 10 million or something? It's something wild, right? Like
Yeah.
over the last like 3-4 years. That's why, like, if it's somebody recent, right? Like I'm not saying like it's unfair,
Yeah.
right? But if it's over the last 2 years, I've compared to somebody that's been here for, or I mean,
Entrenched in the like
right.
economy and their job. They've been working for so long.
I mean, I don't know, man. It's a hard job. I mean, it's a problem. You have to close up the borders, but the deportation thing, it's hard, man. I don't know how you do it without splitting up families.
It's a tough subject, but like these guys are like seem like zero tolerance and they're not gonna really have a heart about it, you know?
Yeah. But
It's
do you think that's
challenging.
what's needed?
Kind of.
But you kind of feel like a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Or like
I'm a product of immigration,
Right.
right? They
Right.
came here legally, granted, my
Yeah,
parents, but
yeah.
sometimes you're seeking asylum, you're actually scared for your life. You're trying to find a better life,
For
trying to
sure.
do the right
Right.
thing. You're not doing anything wrong. You're working,
right.
just
Yeah.
trying to raise a family in a safe place, right? Sure, you got here and like without documentation or whatever,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I mean, everyone has a dream, man. They leave a place where it's harder to dream big or do anything, right? And you run to these places, right? But with that said, like I know we keep going back and forth, but on the other side of it, there's these criminals,
For sure.
Yeah.
right?
But they're
Murderers.
putting them all in the same category. I think that's the problem.
Hard, man.
Yeah.
I don't
hard to
know.
do.
I don't know the solution here, but I mean, there's somebody in charge right now, and it's this guy,
this guy's gonna
right?
mass deport.
Yeah, he doesn't
That's
seem
all
to
I
care
know.
about
Yeah.
differentiating.
But there's also this
Families can be deported together. That's so sad.
there's
So
this
sad.
fear of like them coming to Canada,
Yeah.
where like I don't know if you heard about all that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but they
The
keep-
borders have been warned.
right? RCMP saying that at
Yeah.
least they're ready. You have Christia Freeland, who's like, our borders are gonna be tight. Like, you know who that is, right?
Yeah.
The lady that's always
That cookie thing.
yeah. But and even who's that immigration guy? I'm forgetting his name. Even him, he's like, our border policies aren't going to change. They are what they are,
Yeah.
right? So
The Canadian one, right?
yeah,
I know you're
and then
talking
even this worry that all of them are going to come to Canada, they have to cross through the
Yeah.
entire United States to get to Canada,
Yeah.
right?
It's a
So-
harder track too.
Yeah, unless the option is you guys can either go there or go line up at the Canadian border, right? Then, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What'd you think of the other appointees that he has? There's some noticeable ones that stuck out
Yeah.
to me. I guess Susie Wiles, he made his chief of staff. They
Yeah.
credited her for like all his success in the
Mhm.
way he campaigned. So she
Mhm.
got rewarded for that.
Mhm.
But then Elon and Vivek.
Yeah, Vivek was giving his insight on his role. I believe he was designated to the Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah, Doge. Like Dogecoin,
right?
coincidentally.
Right.
That's pretty funny.
And I think their whole job is to cut costs.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, this is one of those that I like, but Sukfer, you want to play a clip of Vivek's reaction to it?
Yeah, 2 billion isn't a big number, but 2 trillion is, Sean. And that's
I'm sorry. Here,
look,
the 2 trillion. I stand corrected.
No. I just want to be very clear about the scale. I want to be very clear about the scale that we're thinking here. We're not thinking small. We're playing big here because we have a once in a generation mandate right now. The American people have voted for drastic reform of the government, and our federal government is broken. It's no secret that it is a fourth branch of government, the administrative state that makes most of the rules, that creates a federal bureaucracy that's hampering our economy. So what do we want to do? We want to go in and slash and burn that bureaucracy to help Americans. Actually, much of our spending is even for programs whose authorization has lapsed. So the authorization to spend the money, the appropriation has lapsed, and yet still the money still goes out the door. That's how broken the bureaucracy is. So I think it's going to take a couple of business guys to come in, do this from the outside. We're going to have fun while we're at it. It's going to be the most transparent effort. We're certainly aiming to make this a transparent process so the American people can see how their money's being wasted. So we're all in it on the same team to fix it. I can't wait for Donald Trump to get back in that White House on January 20th.
See, what's intriguing from that clip? I want to see how transparent they really are. Let's see. This, because at the end of the day, they're 2 billionaire businessmen
Mhm.
teaming up with another billionaire businessman who's now going to be the president.
Mhm.
Who are they really looking out for? I don't know.
I
Let's see
mean,
how transparent they are.
Vivek's been talking about the managerial class and
Yeah.
bureaucracies, even when he was
Right.
running the primaries against Trump to begin with, right? It's one of his things. And Vivek is a really well-spoken, well-researched. He knows what he's talking about. He's a billionaire. He came from the biology side of things, right? He has a lot of success, right? He's self-made. I mean, and then you have Elon, everyone already knows, one of the
Yeah.
smartest guys on the planet, but he's one of the richest guys on the planet, right? So if you're going to have somebody trying to make a country more efficient, right? Just like we were talking about Canada before,
Mhm.
right? After a few years of Democrats making spending, you need somebody who's going to do some cuts
Yeah.
and take care of
I mean,
capitalism.
the cuts are justified,
Mhm.
and I think it's the right move. But I don't know, just somebody like the
No, I get
ultra
what you're
rich
saying, playing devil's
people,
yeah.
right? Who are they actually going to look out for, themselves or the lower middle class? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but I mean,
And they have an end date
yeah,
for the Doge committee,
Mhm.
the 250th and Independence Day, July 4th of next year. They're
Of
supposed to
next
be
year, so
done
2 years.
doing what they got to get done.
$3 trillion, 2 years.
Yeah.
Cut. Okay, when he says bureaucracies, is he saying all the 3-letter agencies, FBI, CIA?
All of them. He's like, they're all restructuring that can be done. to all
That's
of
what
them.
he was saying before, and
But mainly the government, the way like in the interview,
it
is
mainly
getting-
seems like government jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of bureaucracy, man. There's a lot of jobs that are unnecessary, and with that, it makes things harder. There's a lot of unnecessary spending, but I mean, I know a country's not a business.
Yeah.
But when there's been a lot of overspending done, this is what people wanted.
It's kind of
I was gonna say, like, do you think people what do people feel about who he's appointing to all these things?
This is what people voted on, right? Like,
Right.
if you look at Trump, right? One of the reasons I think why a lot of people voted for Trump is because you had Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, RFK,
Yeah.
all these guys who are typically Democrats, left-leaning when it comes to a lot of these social issues.
It's strange to put Elon Musk in that category for some reason. I know
Because he has a lot of money.
just because he's like, I wouldn't consider him political.
Yeah, but you don't have to be political to have an alignment socially.
No, for sure. Yeah.
But his thing was, I mean, look at what the guy's doing, right? He's got Starlink, right? Even Ontario, I think Doug Ford, they had $100 million.
Yeah.
Right.
To put it in rural areas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, which is just internet, right?
Right.
He's taking care of EVs. Everyone keeps talking about EVs,
Right.
electrical cars.
He has a great impact.
Yeah.
SpaceX.
Yeah.
Right? NASA couldn't rescue those
two astronauts, right?
Right. And then you got this guy.
I mean, their whole approach is they think, and a lot of Americans that are behind them, like they assembled the Avengers right now, you know, and they're gonna come and save the country.
Yeah.
That's how they're treating it. Right?
Yeah.
But it kind of is.
That's what he said too. He's like, socialism doesn't matter right now. Nothing matters. We gotta save this country, right? So
if you look
that's
at Tulsi, I really like Tulsi Gabbard, man. She's solid, man.
For sure.
An army vet. The things that she talks about, man. And then when you look at Vivek, right, same thing, right? Like he's not somebody who's dumb.
Yeah.
Right? He knows exactly what he's talking about, right?
It was hilarious. I don't know. I can't remember in recent history. Like, I don't think Biden was doing this. It feels like Trump's already the president. He just keeps releasing these videos and just talking about and appointing people. Sure, you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But these videos, I'm gonna make this illegal.
Yeah.
Like gender pronouns, that's next on his list. I've never seen this before.
If you can make, if you have the House and the Senate,
like he's saying some things that I don't even know if he can do, but let's see.
Do you think like him appointing all these people from the outside is going to flip the Senate? Like you think, or the House?
Possibly. Maybe they're scared their jobs are in danger, right? He's assembling all these. Well, clearly they aligned with them, and look, he's giving them jobs. Anybody that switched over to his side.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't hate it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't hate this efficiency part of it at all, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that's what they need.
If they stay
And
transparent, let's
that's
see
what
if they
people
actually-
voted for, right? They voted for immigration. They voted for the economy.
Yeah.
Right? Those are two of the biggest issues.
Mhm.
And you have them taking care of immigration, whether you agree with it or not. And you have these guys trying to help with the economy, trying to make the country more efficient. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's what Americans wanted, that's what they voted for.
Yeah.
Right? So if they actually do it, I mean, you can't hate too hard. Right? And then the other guy that they appointed that a lot of people first thought was a controversial figure, and then now everyone's kind of, RFK, right? And he had a tweet in which he wrote, FDA's war on public health is about to end. This includes its aggressive suppression of psychedelics, peptides, stem cell, raw milk, hyperbaric therapies, chelating compounds, ivermectin, hydrochloroquine, vitamins, clean foods, sunshine, exercise, nutraceuticals, and anything else that advances human health and can't be patented by pharma. If you work for the FDA and are part of this corrupt system, I have two messages for you. One, preserve your records, and two, pack your bags.
Damn.
Whoa.
And then there was a clip of him talking about what he plans to do. Sophie, you want to play it?
He's been very specific in what he said. He wants me to do three things. One, clean up the corruption of the agencies, particularly the conflicts of interest that have turned those agencies into captive agencies for the pharmaceutical industry and the food industry, the other industries that they're supposed to be regulating. Number two, to return those agencies to the gold standard science, the empirically based, evidence-based medicine that they were famous for when I was a kid. And number three, to make America healthy again, to end the chronic disease epidemic. And President Trump has told me that he wants to see measurable, concrete results within 2 years.
This guy's voice always trips me out.
Yeah.
It's some vocal cord thing, right?
Mhm.
But he's calling it Maha too, like
Mhm.
mega,
Yeah.
make America healthy again.
Yeah.
A lot of his appointees were like can be considered controversial. I don't know. This something I can get behind. I don't know who would be against. Like he was saying his key mandates are removing fluoride from water,
Mhm.
banning food dyes and chemicals in food,
Mhm.
and being anti big pharma
Mhm.
and vaccines, right?
Mhm.
Like being more transparent about vaccines and
Right.
who should be taking it.
Yeah.
I don't see any problem
Do you
there.
think he'll kill the whole Ozempic?
That was one of the things he was saying too about Ozempic being
Yeah.
like more transparent about
Yeah.
what can go
The side
wrong with
effects,
the
yeah.
side effects and whatnot. Yeah. I don't know. I don't see anything wrong there. And what with the Doge and now with this guy, they have clear end goals and dates, right? You said 2026 or whatever in the video. I don't know.
Well, a part of that, these end dates, is because you got to think, right? Vivek and RFK especially, I'd like to imagine, along with JD Vance, like when this term ends, right? Trump can't, right? So you're going to have these guys going for the primaries. Right?
Yeah.
So
true.
If that's going to happen, right, you don't want to be, you have other things to do, right? It all comes. But at the end of the day, this RFK thing, I think this, like you said, I don't disagree with that at all. You know, there's certain dyes and stuff that they use in American foods that are even illegal in Canada.
And they've been for years.
Like if you go pick up some Fruit Loops from Canada and some from the United States, theirs are like bright colored, right? Whereas here, ours are like kind of like stale, right? And
even the advertising, right?
Yeah.
It's only America and who else? It's one else. I think it's two countries.
New Zealand?
New Zealand, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like they get those throughout the day. We only get them when we're watching an American channel and they pop up.
Right.
Throughout the day, they're just getting advertised drugs.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
eventually, subconsciously, you're going to think, oh, I don't know, maybe I should take this, right?
Yeah.
Like big
there's a lot
pharma's
of
a huge
additives
problem there.
that can give you cancer, basically.
Yeah.
That are banned in the States, but not here. I mean, banned here.
But not in the States.
Yeah.
But then there's so many things banned here. I mean, not banned here and banned in Europe. So it's everyone's a little step better.
Yeah. I mean, no, I think Europe's a little bit different.
Europe's more strict, I think.
I think that's good. I don't think there's anything wrong.
Yeah. Portion sizes are better.
Yeah.
They got health figured out a lot better than us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they pasta all day in Italy and they don't seem to be as...
But do you
Yeah,
think...
but what about the teeth issue in other parts of Been in the water, right?
The pasta thing, though, remember when we were in Italy?
The portion sizes are smaller, right?
Not only just the portion sizes. I don't know if it's me.
Yeah.
But maybe it's in my head. Like the way the pasta was grown, it didn't bloat me as much. Right?
After I eat pasta
Like
here, I'm
the portion?
Nah,
It was weird because we would eat so late too.
Yeah, so late, and we're
People
eating throughout
are
the
later
day.
there. Yeah.
We're on
But
vacation.
then I also like read that people walk a lot more.
They do.
And
yeah, they don't drive.
It all like contributes to being able to eat pasta every day.
Yeah. I mean, here, the way that the farming industry is, how everything's commercialized, right? So I don't know, in these small little towns in parts of Europe, I don't think it works like that. Right?
Yeah.
You get a lot of naturally grown foods.
Organic, like actual organic.
Yeah, right.
I mean, just an eye test. You don't see people like how overweight they are in North America, America specifically. You don't see people like that in other
It's
parts
different. Like
of
remember
the world.
even in Paris, like the eggs were different.
Yeah,
They were.
Yeah.
Yeah. The yolk's a different color.
The yolk looks totally
Yeah, that I was almost like, I don't know if I want to eat this, but it's better for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, to wrap up this part of it, I think the only issue I had with any of these appointees to me is the borders but it's a problem that somebody's got to solve, right? I'm not for dividing up families at the end of the day because it's hard to do, right? But how do you solve immigration, like Simmer was saying, without doing that, right? Like, how are you going to go through that many people without it taking 15 years, 10 years, 7, 8 years, whatever it's going to take, unless you start doing that,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Let's move on to the next story. So, a mayor in Mississauga is catching a little bit of heat because she wouldn't condemn a vigil of Yahya Sinwar, and it's kind of pissed off a lot of people. So, if you want to play the clip?
And what he's done and the murder of thousands of people. So it's just kind of a comment on our communications. I know that many times they have to be bland and stick to the law. But in this case, we have a person who's recognized as a terrorist very widely. Thank you.
Well, thank you for your advice. You're free to do whatever you want. You're free to say whatever you want. I am not. My job is to consult with our lawyers and do exactly what they tell me. So I just want to point out, and I'm not being facetious, Nelson Mandela was declared a terrorist by the United States of America till the year 2008. You're a terrorist and somebody else's terrorist may be two different things. But I am extremely careful and I do not step out of line, but you're free to do whatever you like and suffer the consequences if there should be any.
This lady's so tone deaf. Like, I didn't even take the time to know her name. I think it's Caroline something. Like, Remembrance Day was 5 days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Veterans Day in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about what's going on around you and what you're saying before you say it. Like, people are calling for her to resign.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what she was thinking. I did a quick Google search on Nelson Mandela, just like his things that he's done.
Mhm.
So he led the fight against apartheid,
Mhm.
ended apartheid.
Mhm.
First South Africa's first black president, won the Nobel Peace Prize, and he was a leader in the fight for human rights. That's a quick Google search.
Mhm.
She's comparing the Sinwar guy to him.
Mhm.
Like, I get the sentiment a little bit. Like, yeah, he was also called a terrorist, but I don't think they
That's
equate
weird stuff.
what they got done. Yeah.
Being called.
You can label anybody a terrorist,
Right.
but look at what they got done and what they did throughout their life.
Okay, so I think she shouldn't be comparing Mandela to Sinwar. I think that's a bit of a stretch, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of what happened with Mandela was because it was during the Cold War phase, the Soviet Union there was a lot of things happening, who was funding who. So
Yeah.
he caught a lot of heat for that as well, right? That's why he was labeled a terrorist, right? Plus he spent time in jail. To me, this is gonna sound weird to you. I don't completely disagree with her. Right? Sukfi, you want to pull up the Charter of Rights and Freedoms?
Sinwar was the leader of Hamas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, I think Hamas definitely is a terrorist group. It's been labeled one by the United States since I think 97, 98, something around then. And Yahya Sinwar is their former leader, right? And he was taken out by Israel.
Yeah.
Right. And he's also known as being one of the people behind the October 7 attacks, killing a whole bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
But as crazy as she sounds, I'm not saying that I'm okay with Yahya Sinwar, but living in Canada, right, where everyone likes to talk about freedoms and how the Charter of Rights and comparing it to the Bill of Rights in the States and their amendments,
What did you want me to pull up?
the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
Just like this?
Yeah, just Google search it and pull up a picture of it. Just go to images. And then just pull up any one of those pictures. And then go to, click on the picture right there. And then go to the complete left side of it, the first up. Can you put the window on this side of it?
Yeah.
And then go up a little bit. Yeah, zoom in right there. Yeah, fundamental freedoms, right? I'm pretty sure the right to assembly is one of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. She was saying it from a legal standpoint.
Yeah, so then you got to look at it that way, right? So it took for you. Can you just read it? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, let me just pull it
I know what it is,
better.
but so I'm not an attorney, so I wouldn't take this as legal advice.
Yeah.
But what I see here is that the way the Charter of Rights and Freedoms works, and why a lot of people, when they say it, they don't understand that it doesn't work the same way because it's not absolute, right?
Yeah.
Which means the government can kind of decide when these freedoms are applied. If there's some hate speech or then they think that these freedoms can be taken away and they can be. But my whole thing here, right, is I don't agree with this, right? But if they are doing it and they're doing it peacefully and they're doing it in their own place, right, and they're not breaking any laws, right, there's definitely going to be consequences. People are going to get mad. You're going to get backlash. You might have some divisiveness, and you might have somebody can riot, protest. A lot of things can happen, right?
Yeah.
And those are consequences of doing this, right? And you're essentially doing a vigil for a terrorist group, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. I get the comparison of like that's like doing a vigil for bin Laden
Exactly.
during 9/11. I get that.
And there was
right?
I think there was a
You want me to read
protest
the fundamental freedoms?
Sure.
Okay, so everyone has the following fundamental freedoms: freedom of
Suck your mic.
freedom of conscience and religion, freedom of thought, belief, opinion, expression, including freedom of the press and other media of communication, freedom of peaceful assembly, and freedom of association.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they're not breaking any laws right now, let's say tomorrow, right? Something actually happens that you stand for, right? And you want to either you want to enjoy these freedoms,
Yeah.
right? A part of if you want to be on the side of freedom, right, is you get this with it.
Yeah.
Right? You get these kind of terrorists, you get this bad stuff. It all comes with it. You don't get the good without the bad.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying that I agree with her completely comparing to Nelson Mandela and not condemning Hamas as a terrorist group when everyone else does, when it's been done by the United States since 97, right? I'm just saying it's Canada, and if you already in a country where it's a slippery slope when it comes to freedoms,
Yeah.
if you're going to give the government the chance again and again and again to decide when you have the right to assembly, when you have these freedoms, what do you think is going to happen when that compounds and there's something that you need to protest?
I get it from that standpoint, right? Infringing on your right. It's very delicate. I'm just saying, she could have even just left it alone. She didn't have to say what she said. Like, there was literally a protest today about what's going on in Gaza. They were like painting the steps red at the consulate. Canada doesn't have to always deal with everything and have a role in everything that's going on. You know, just stay out of it. Kind of deal with your own country's problems. Stop bringing in other problems into your country.
So I do agree. But again, we were talking about immigration, right? So with immigration, you're going to get people from all different types of countries, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to get all different types of races, religions, whether you agree with them or you don't agree with them, right? The country that they now reside in is supposed to be a freer country than where they came from, right?
Yeah.
And if you're going to get more government involvement, I think it's a slippery slope, man.
No.
I mean, she wasn't the best representative of talking about freedoms, and I don't know if she did it the right way. But I don't know. You think that you can tell those people that they're not to condemn that vigil? Like, I don't agree with it, right? Like, I'll put that out there.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning what Yahya Sinwar did. I'm not saying that Hamas isn't a terrorist group. But to me, right, if somebody's doing something peacefully and they're, even if you hate it, right? I don't know. I don't know where that goes. Like, I get, like, okay, go.
It would have been very easy just to leave it alone, right? You don't have to come out and condemn it. You don't have to come out and be for it, support it. It's compare this guy to Nelson Mandela. You're gonna rub people the wrong way, right? And people are furious now, right? And how much tension there is there with the people, how divided they are. Maybe just stay out of it, right?
Yeah.
Sure, they have the right to assemble, protest, just like people protest now here about Gaza, right? You have the right to do whatever you want and just leave it as that. You don't have to come out and say anything about it.
I completely agree with
I feel like
you.
you could have just took that approach.
Yeah, but maybe she just wanted to.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how she feels, and she wanted to tell people.
Yeah, but you're a public servant. People are
But
gonna
that's
hear.
exactly the reason. Like, people would hear it.
She kind of didn't. She blamed her lawyers.
Yeah, she's like, "This
It's
is what I
weird.
legally have to
Even
do."
that saying that it's strange to me.
Unnecessary.
Like, I don't have a voice.
Yeah,
My voice
that's
is
how she
my
acted.
lawyers.
Yeah.
But then who's gonna want to vote for you?
Yeah.
Like, what do you stand for?
I
If
mean,
you don't have a voice.
I don't think she wanted to. She's being very careful.
Yeah.
Right.
Is.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it's more touchy to me. When I saw it, I knew that a lot of people are just going to get angry at it,
For
right?
sure.
Because of who it is, right?
Yeah.
But I don't, freedoms are a touchy place, right? You can't just say a select amount of citizens get them and a select amount of citizens don't.
Yeah.
Right? It kind of comes with it.
For sure.
And what's this?
They were
This is
protesting.
what they were talking about, or Andy was talking about.
Oh,
They put a bunch of paint
on the steps. Oh,
Of the Israeli consulate.
yeah.
Just they were protesting the genocide in Gaza.
Yeah, no, it's wild, man. He's basically the guy behind the October 7th attack, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I don't agree with what they're doing, but how do you stop them from not having a vigil?
I don't know. You don't have to stop them. You don't have to say anything.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right.
She came out and said something unnecessary.
Right.
But like, would it have been better if she said this is wrong? They shouldn't have
It would have
done
been
this?
better if she said nothing.
But what if she
The
did?
guy
say
asked
something?
her, sorry.
What?
The other guy sitting there, he's like, why don't you condemn
She can't do that either.
Yeah.
What would she have said?
What do you mean?
Like he asked her that question.
Yeah.
You can't. What would her response be?
Like,
Like,
I don't
oh, I
wanna
can't.
Cannot confirm nor deny.
Not bring up Nelson Mandela. Maybe.
Maybe
maybe not bring up Mandela. Yeah, no,
I think that's the thing that
yeah.
people got really worked up about.
Mm.
You could have left Nelson Mandela out of it.
Yeah.
She easily
Totally unnecessary.
like that's a lot of that loopy left side of, you know,
Too brave.
yeah, a little bit too much.
People
And
already don't like her. I forget her name. I think it's Caroline something.
I don't know her name, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a touchy subject to me when you're talking about freedoms,
Mhm.
but no, I mean, Sinwar isn't no Mandela.
For sure.
Okay, so let's move on to something a little bit more positive, right? Instead of this heavy stuff, Taylor Swift decided to end her Eras tour in Canada with
Toronto.
There you go, with 6 shows in Toronto and 3 in BC. And Toronto's been going a little crazy.
for sure.
Stokefear, you want to play the clip?
The amount of people, man.
I tried to see if
The
I could
whole
see from my
city is, like,
building, but it's too
buzzing.
far.
It feels like when we go to the Olympics or like a playoff game or something like that. It's so wild to think it's for a concert, but it's amazing. Just
This is what the GO train looked like. Sequence.
Glitter.
Head to toe.
Look at the amount of people.
1,000 out of 10. Been a fan of Taylor
I was
Swift since I was
surprised
9
to
years
see how
old,
many
and I'm
husbands
now
and stuff
28.
were there.
So like
Well, you
I've
have
been a fan pretty much my whole life.
I think even Trudeau had a cringy tweet.
Yeah, he did make it. It was pretty cringy. He had a tweet. Canada, we're ready for you, Taylor Swift. Good choice wrapping up the Eras tour in Canada. Has this always been your end game? So he's making song references. We're ready for you, end game.
Even before when she announced her tour
Yeah, he was,
and
like,
she
begging her
left
to
out
come.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. He always tweets at her with references to her songs in it. So I don't know if somebody like
tells him.
Yeah, makes these tweets.
Does he have a daughter?
He has
one daughter.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe they're fans. Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you make of this? Our whole city's like covered in.
People are so mad. They're like, the taxes, the tax dollars. Like,
Even
go
Chow,
for it.
the mayor,
She bring.
she was coming out. She's like, "Oh, restaurants can pay higher taxes now. They're making so much money off this."
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to say that, right? Especially when restaurants were closed a few years ago, right? And a lot of people lost their businesses. I don't think anyone's thinking about paying higher taxes.
There was also, I read that there were certain places where you could only go if you had a Taylor Swift ticket.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't serve you.
Really?
It was a coffee place specifically that he ordered, and she's like, "Let me see your ticket. You get 50% off." He's like, "I don't have it. I'll just pay full price." She's like, "You need to leave. I can't serve you."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like they told certain restaurants that they can only serve ticket holders. It's crazy. It's a crazy.
We were at the LCBO the other day.
Yeah.
There was like a drink special with her like name on it, lavender, whatever. I don't remember.
Her song title, Lavender
Did you
Haze.
buy
No.
She looked at it.
But
Thought
it's
about
like
it.
every sort of business is trying to take advantage, which
Can't
they
blame her.
should,
For sure.
of her being here and like making money off her name. And like she really did bring a lot of money into anywhere that she's toured.
I mean, she's definitely a movement. Toronto's just a little bit, I don't know, it comes off a little thirsty, like how the whole city just, but like
Yeah, but I'm not doing what these people are doing.
no, I don't know, man. Like I'm it's not just
So you know what I saw?
Mhm.
A Toronto couple fighting over tickets in their divorce.
oh no.
Yeah.
Really?
It was part of their divorce settlement
Oh my god.
that they were fighting over.
The
Like
ticket-
it's crazy.
The ticket
Well,
prices
they're
are
so expensive.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you didn't end up
Like
getting them,
last minute ones.
Yeah.
On like StubHub and stuff.
like $3,000-$4,000 for
Yeah.
a bowl.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
people are spending it.
I don't know what
it's-
it is. Like, I feel like it's just comes off so desperate for Canadians. Like they did it with Kawhi too. Remember they had the
Oh, they're falling
helicopter flying over him. They're just stalking him.
Yeah.
I feel like if a Chick-fil-A opens here, there's lineups there for like 7 months. Like,
were you in that lineup?
No, I wasn't. But I don't know. I don't know if it's the greatest look.
This is different though. It's like above and beyond anything I've ever seen. Like
for here, right?
More.
I've never seen.
But that's because
This much
Anything that wrong with it? It's kind of what's wrong with
it's
it?
cool, honestly. And it's not just people in Toronto. So many people from out of town
You
are
think it's
coming
'cause-
in
Is it
to
because
see the
it's
show.
ending? Or
I think
do-
that's part of it. Also, there's not many Canadian shows other than Toronto and Vancouver. That's part of it.
You know, we had a whole motorcade. There's a clip I sent you about. There's. She has a whole motorcade.
Oh, I saw this.
Like she's the president.
This
They quote-
formatting.
Yeah, they're like, we
how-
can't get to work.
Yeah.
It's not the whole highway.
Yeah.
This girl.
Look at that.
It's crazy. She's the prime minister for.
That's a gardener, right?
Yeah. Look at the other side of it. You think those people are
But
happy about
somebody that famous needs security. I don't disagree with this.
Yeah, I don't disagree with either.
And I'm not even a big fan.
I mean, that's like coming in like the Queen of England.
She is. Okay, let's talk about her economic impact of just bringing the Eras Tour to Toronto. The Eras Tour is estimated to generate $282 million for the city of Toronto, with 93% of it coming from non-residents. So that's the other thing, the reason why it's so big. So many people from outside of Toronto are coming to it. And then because of that, all like hotels, restaurants, everyone's doing really well.
It's definitely a big deal. Like, I don't think in recent memory, like, I don't know, maybe there's Beyonce. Like, I don't know anyone that
But I don't even know if Beyonce had
But
that
never
much.
like
Sure,
this.
that much
different people
public.
like this.
No.
Like, even like you used to hear stories of like LeBron in Cleveland, how the whole economy depended on it.
Right,
When they
yeah.
won the championship,
That
how
feels more
the
like
whole city was on fire. Kind of like this, but even that's probably not to this level. Like, this is kind of crazy, right? Like,
Yeah. There's a
what
lot
the-
of like scams and stuff too
Yeah,
for
I
tickets.
mean-
like
and it's
for
like, what?
instance.
6 shows, and it's got people going crazy. What's this?
So he sold. So he was selling fake concert tickets and over like $38,000
Wow.
fraud.
yeah, people are really mad at the resale market.
Yeah, I saw one on the news that she was taking her daughter, so she got scammed, but then they ended up giving her tickets.
That's
Yeah, it was like good.
you know, there's like little girls just like outside the Rogers Center.
They
just-
even have tickets,
Just
right?
with signs
Oh,
like I want 2 tickets. Like they're begging. Like
I saw a girl say that I just want to hear it from like the outside.
you can. If you're in Toronto, you just hear Taylor Swift.
Nah, man. I don't know how somebody generates that big. Yeah, man. It's definitely a movement. Like, her fan base is wild, man. I don't know. She's like
It's like
MJ.
all
Yeah.
ages too, right?
Yeah, I don't know. She's like, I don't know. There's
We talked about this. You were first. You're just like, I don't know how people spend so much money on it, and then I was like, well, what if our daughter was a fan?
That's what it
He's
is.
like,
when, when I seen the clip, I started feeling bad for Simmer. I'm like, oh, you feel like a man just dropped this.
No.
Like,
no, I get it.
But you see,
I'm not a fan of anybody that much, but
Yeah.
I get it.
it's hard for me to identify in that way. I've never been so obsessed with a person.
You know what it is? Like, she's just been making music for so long. So a lot of these people that are her fans have been fans of her for like 15 plus years.
Now their
Just
daughters are
grew up with her. Yeah, now their kids are fans. Like, even for me, like the first concert I ever went to was Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So like, it just
Did it cost you $5,000?
No, it was so much cheaper back
Yeah.
then.
I saw one like there was a lineup of people, and they were like, "How much did you spend? How much did you spend?"
And
it was
people
like
said $90, right?
lady, like an
How
old
do you do
lady
that?
said $86, and then the person in front of her $2,000.
oh my God.
Yeah.
How do you say that with a smile on your face, too?
Because she came first, and it was 86, and the lady was like, "What?
Yeah.
That's the lowest I've
Oh my
heard
God.
today."
That's wild.
Yeah.
Did you guys see I saw a clip. There's like a bunch of dads or husbands at the concert. They're literally either drinking or they're passed out, like actually sleeping or just standing there. And these little girls around them are wild, and they're just like chilling.
I mean, honestly, I was criticizing it, but when she asked me of like how I would feel if like our daughter went, it's fine. Like, I would be one of those dads.
Your immediate reaction was like, she's going. She's going.
Yeah.
She's spending the money. She's going.
I think part of it, people think she's not going to do it again ever or for a while.
She doesn't need to, man. She's like reached billionaire.
But I think she just likes doing it. She's been touring for so long.
There's money too. Right?
Yeah.
Crazy amount of money.
Leave $1 million, like drop another album and keep riding this wave, right?
Like it was like 14 million per show that she makes. Like
It's
not
wild.
all in her pocket.
Didn't this tour make her a billionaire? She wasn't a billionaire before this, right?
Yeah.
Or am I wrong?
No, it was.
Right?
Yeah.
So then imagine if you're making basically somewhere close to $1 billion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Drop another album and go on tour again. Do this again.
You know what's crazy that doesn't get accounted for? Me and Summer were talking about it. The resale, she doesn't get that money.
Yeah.
She just gets like the Ticketmaster sales.
Yeah.
The markup there.
Yeah.
None of that gets accounted for.
Like
Imagine if she got that.
Yeah.
Well, you
But I mean, without that, she's already a billionaire. What does she need that for?
Yeah.
She doesn't need any of it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying how much potential money she could have made too. You know.
I think she's doing pretty good.
She's okay.
I don't
But
think
it's like the point that like what everyone's saying, how much the tour is grossing, it's even more than that because of all these resale tickets. Like
People
so
are
much
hating
more.
on the resale.
They
You can't
even
control that though.
We're saying, or I don't know, I read that like the homeless people around, they were like relocating them to hotels.
Up in hotels.
They can't sleep at night. They keep hearing Taylor Swift.
Well, they get to go to
because they
hotels.
want to hide.
They want it to be
want
like
them in front of.
cleaner looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
But again, taxpayer money.
So they don't clean up the homeless problem otherwise.
No. But when Taylor Swift comes to town,
Like, yeah, this is
we got to show her it's clean here.
It's crazy. Toronto.
All right. Anyone got anything else to add there?
No, I don't think so.
We're done? Look, these are merely our opinions based on our life experiences, knowledge, and research. Maybe you agree or disagree or simply want to be a part of the conversation. Leave a comment and let us know your thoughts. Now let's get back to the pod. All right, that's it for the stories. Now let's move on to off topic, where we'll give you some quick takes on some random stories.
So let's start with the Canada Post strike and how it's affecting so many things that you like don't think about. Like I was just like, yeah, like Christmas shopping, right? But then there's also like, so think about the generation that doesn't do anything online,
Yeah.
right? Bills, taxes.
I feel like that's where it impacts.
Yeah, I was like, I had to read. So apparently, all the benefits and stuff they'll still get. Like I was thinking, old people, like old age, but they're still gonna get those.
Okay.
But anybody who doesn't want to sign up for like this like Service Canada accounts, like paying taxes, you can't mail in anything. It's gonna be like an impact.
I know my parents still wait for their bills through the mail, like
Right.
banks and stuff.
Think about your dad with the My Account.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's not gonna make a My Account.
No, he's not doing any of that. CIBC sent out like something. There's going to be disruptions,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
So-
yeah, no, I think it's a pretty big deal, man.
And like rural communities don't have anything but Canada Post. Like there's FedEx and UPS and all that stuff here.
Yeah.
But and then even the impact that Canada Post is like losing money every year. They're in like, I think it was like the last 3 years, 3 billion or something. Just like they're competing with all these. So all of this is just gonna cause it more. Like there could be no Canada Post.
Yeah.
People like
Does Amazon get affected?
Amazon was saying that no, they don't. It's a very little percentage that they deliver through Canada Post. But they do, but it's a very little percentage.
Yeah.
That would matter a lot. Amazon got
Right?
But I feel like I do so much online. It's not going to impact me directly. I don't think so.
I mean, you don't think so, but then maybe you
Until it
have,
does.
you have some sort of mail coming in or something. You don't get it, a bill or something that you don't do online, like you were saying, and then all of a sudden,
You can't pay it. You're late, penalties.
Or what if you have to mail out some documents, passports, anything like
Passports too. Yeah, that was one.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you were going on vacation and you're like, your passport's not going to come.
Yeah, if it's expired, you're done.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to miss your
Go
flight.
Pick it up, no? I don't know.
So how long is this strike going to last?
So the last strike, the longest the strike has lasted was 30 days. So I don't see it being more than that. They're like in discussions about it now and they keep like going back and forth. I don't see it lasting too much longer, to be honest. Like I think eventually the federal government will like tell them that you have to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
Even just for like the Christmas, everybody's worried about Christmas season, right? So,
Yeah, it's crazy they're doing it right before.
Yeah.
They probably did it on purpose now.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
To have more of an impact right before Christmas.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like, I don't know, a lot. People probably send mail and stuff too.
Letters to Santa.
Postcards. Oh, yeah. Letters to Santa. Where are those going to go?
What about like packages? You just buy stuff online, like clothes and stuff.
Yeah, like all of that.
Yeah,
If they're coming through Canada Post, like it's all.
Oh, that's true. If it's not Amazon.
Yeah.
That'll get impacted too.
For sure.
Yeah, there's, I guess.
You never know. Like if it was lasting long enough,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna run into some trouble. Everyone will.
Yeah.
Right? You just don't know that how often you use
Yeah,
it.
you might need something for the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. You never know.
That's true.
What else we got?
Yeah. So just to change, vibes, but Mark Zuckerberg released a new song.
A song?
What?
Yeah. A song with T-Pain. It's a cover of Get Low.
No way.
It is so cringy. I won't play it.
Yeah.
But it's so cringy, but it's like an actual song. Like it's on Apple Music.
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Like I don't know why.
Is this-
No, he said he wrote it for his wife. Sorry, that's what he said. Paying tribute
That's
to his
romantic.
wife. But Get Low.
Yeah. How is that
Hold on.
I think
Being sarcastic.
he was saying it's the first song that him and his wife they met at a college party, and that was a song that was playing or something.
So it's a straight up just a cover?
It's a cover. It sounds to me like a country version of that song.
Oh my God.
Yeah, listen to it after.
Yeah.
It's so cringy.
That sounds cringe. I don't even need to listen to it.
Yeah, like you don't have to be romantic. I mean, you don't have to sing a song to be romantic, right?
It's almost like people are just gonna make fun of you for that.
Yeah.
Don't do
You
that.
had to have known that.
Yeah.
Get made.
Maybe, like I saw like him in the studio and stuff. It seemed like he was pretty serious about it.
Career change.
But like as long as his wife liked it and that's what he's doing it for, what does it matter what anybody else says?
Well,
Because he's putting it on Apple Music and making it public.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
If,
I guess
if
could
you want to do
give it
something
to
for
him
your wife, just
privately.
give it.
romantic song
Definitely not.
to the sweat drop, right? That's what he's saying.
Awesome.
And also Denzel Washington is joining Marvel. Big
What?
news.
Oh,
He's gonna
no
be
way.
in Black Panther 3. Isn't that cool?
That is.
I didn't know they were carrying that on.
Yeah, no, I was
But who's
pretty
he
excited
supposed to
about
be in
that.
Black Panther?
He's gonna be the
The main guy?
no.
The guy passed away, right?
I mean, Marvel's been struggling for a bit now after Endgame.
I mean, this will get him a lot.
That's a
of
big
eyes.
actor to
Yeah,
join it.
Denzel.
It is. I mean, they keep doing things like this. I saw a trailer for I think that new Captain America movie. It didn't look too bad. They have like the Red Hulk in there, but I don't know. I don't.
Who's playing the Red Hulk? No. Is it the guy that played? He played something else.
Oh, obviously. But yeah, that looked decent. But other than that, like a lot of those have been a miss when it comes to Marvel.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford?
That's cool. That's
CGI
really
can
cool.
do anything. Eh?
Yeah.
They're gonna make him look like Hulk.
I mean, this movie might be all right, man. But I don't know. Marvel's.
They should have ended it with Endgame.
I don't know. What do you do there, right? Like, I think you can either like restart it.
Well, Denzel's gonna make me watch whatever the hell.
For sure. But
Yeah.
Black Panther was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Both of
I think
them.
I missed the second one.
The second one was like the tribute. This is like such a good one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I missed it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Did he watch
Did
it?
I watch it with you?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure I missed it. Might have not seen the first one. I don't
What, Black Panther?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know.
We've seen them both.
We've seen them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch this one. Denzel's in it.
That's why. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
I mean, recently I didn't hate him in that.
He's in Gladiator.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Heard about
Did
Gladiator?
you hear what about it?
They cut out the.
Yeah, they cut out.
Yeah.
They cut out the Denzel scene?
No.
Where he
no.
kissed the dude.
He kissed some dude and
I
they
heard
cut a
that
scene
too,
out.
yeah.
Why did they cut it out?
I don't know.
And I
But
guess
that's
they just
crazy.
chose not to.
So he did it for no reason?
I guess.
So would you be more mad if like you were like, all right,
Yeah,
I'll do
definitely.
this, and then they're like, we're not even cutting it?
If I did it and they just
Can
cut
you
it.
ever be mad at something like that?
Why not?
I guess they're used to it.
That's your
That probably happens to them all
job.
the
Like
time.
you have to be able
never
to
done
play
that.
all sorts of roles.
I mean, he's so old and he's gotten through that much of his career without doing it, right?
right?
And you're like, now you're just like,
Many things have been cut
oh,
previous,
okay, that's true.
right?
Yeah.
That should be good too, though. Gladiator.
Mm.
Is there a remake or it's the second one? I think
it continues.
Yeah.
I think it's a sequel.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Denzel doing things.
You got anything else?
Should we move on to the new segment?
Oh, question of the day?
Yeah.
Okay. What
Okay.
you got?
So everybody, would you rather be caught cheating or catch your significant other cheating?
Oh.
Ooh.
Wow.
It's a good one, right?
That's hard.
That's
It's hard, right? It's almost like nothing. I choose nothing.
yeah.
I think
Personally, I would say catch my significant other cheating.
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking get
I
caught
would rather
cheating.
get caught cheating.
Yeah, I know, but that's just personality, right?
But that's like a moral dilemma, kind of like that's putting yourself in the position that you would cheat.
I'd want to be the positive person in that situation. I wouldn't want to be the negative.
I mean, the other thing would make me really sad. So,
well, the way I look at it,
But the other way around, you're really hurting someone else. That's better.
yeah,
Which wouldn't make you sad.
yeah.
Eventually, maybe.
But I wouldn't do that.
Hopefully.
yeah. Well, I don't know, man. Why would you want to do the other one?
Why would you want to do either?
It's your question.
I'm asking you guys. I told you my answer.
Yeah. So you'd rather catch
Yeah.
the other person cheating?
Maybe that's the insecure part of me.
Yeah. No, that's wild. Because then, yeah, no, that's a terrible question.
Ethical dilemma.
Right? So if you get caught cheating, you're going to get the same result,
Yeah.
theoretically.
You want a different one?
Do you have another question?
I have more questions.
All right.
I feel like this one's more for like girls because I know what they're gonna respond. But would you rather be bald or have no eyebrows? I would rather be bald.
Really?
Yeah. To not have eyebrows.
You can just draw them
but you can
on
wear a wig
all the
I don't
time.
think you can draw your eyebrows. I think you have to have no eyebrows.
I would still rather have no eyebrows.
You'd have no eyebrows?
I can't get rid of my hair. I'm too attached.
Without
I think I'd rather be bald.
I think I'd rather be bald.
Yeah, but you're men, so it's
Like,
easier to be bald.
like
I mean,
bald.
Yeah, but you don't know how you'll look like now when you're bald.
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm that attached to my hair. I feel like I could be bald.
I mean, I've always said, like, if my hair goes, I'm not going to be holding on to it. I'm just going to shave it off.
Yeah.
I know,
you can't
and I
hold
really don't want that day to come.
You can't hold on for too long. You just gotta
Be one of
let it
those
go.
guys where it's just like, you're just
Keep combing it over.
And this is all bald.
I feel like that one was too easy. I have one last one.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you rather live in a world with no crime or no privacy?
Oh, damn. How much crime are we talking about?
Zero
Interpretation? But the privacy part, if you get
full privacy. Like you just have to no windows, no coverings, all privacy. You're
Oh, that's easy.
of
I need
everything.
privacy. Crime's fine. I need privacy. Like, how much-
but it just says no private. No, like, do you want no privacy or do you want no crime?
I need privacy.
But crime.
That's okay. The crime happens anyway. We still exist. It's fine.
Yeah, that's like you life now, the world right now. There's
That's like how I
privacy,
live. I
but
have some
there's crime.
privacy.
So
Be like not scared because there's no crime.
I'm generally.
I mean, if
scared.
there's
I'm lucky
as
enough
much-
to live in Canada.
If there's just as much
So yeah,
crime as right now, then
like world crime. Think about that. Wars.
well, there's a lot of stuff that happens in the world. Did you know that there's more slavery now than there was when slavery was legal
Where?
in the United States? In the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
But
So
not
that happens
in the
right
United
now.
States.
It's a lot of crime. It's everywhere.
Mm.
But if you're not
get
going
rid
no
of it.
privacy,
Like Truman Show, people are just
gonna
watching me 24/7. I can't do that, man.
like what do you got? Glass showers, no curtains,
Everybody's
everything.
in that situation, are you really gonna be watching people?
What? You don't think people are going to be watching people?
I think they will.
People are crazy. They're trying to do it
very
now.
creepy. Just
And
because
there's-
you aren't, does other people won't be.
I will watch people.
No, I think I don't know, man. Privacy is big because then the other part of it is, what about your digital privacy?
I'm saying bank records, blah, 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 but I don't know what the extent.
Yeah, no, okay, let's just pretend that zero privacy means all of that. Your online life, everyone knows.
Yeah.
They know what you search.
Yeah.
They know the weird things you're looking up on Google or Reddit or whatever. They know
What are you
everything.
looking up on Google?
I'm not. I'm just saying a lot of people.
Is that like you don't want people to see your search history? Like
I'm just like, I don't care. Yeah, you can see my search history.
maybe guys.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
You guys, but guys in general.
But I mean, people search some random things sometimes, right?
Like what?
I don't know, man. You're always searching something, certain diseases, this and that. Like, what's going on?
Do you want to share what you're allowed?
I like the privacy, all right? So I don't want to share.
Yeah, I'm team privacy.
Okay.
What your last Google searches? No? You guys sure? Okay.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
All right. And with that, it's a wrap. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Take care, everybody.